Yeah. However, in paragraphs 7 through 9, does she say that? No, she's just saying, hey, here's what kids are reading. Cause effect in 1617, because they're not asked to do anything interesting or read anything interesting. They get to college, they can't understand, they can't write well, they have zero capability. The contrast that's illustrated in 29, what page number is this on again? 183 starts with those who might have supposed that one purpose of fiction was to deploy the powers of language to connect us directly and intimately with the hearts and souls of others will be disappointed to learn that the whole point is to make us examine ourselves. So the contrast is she believes that people should be using literature to explore what connects us, connect you to the author. However, most high school teachers are using literature to figure out how to connect you to yourself. And she disagrees with that notion. So there's the contrast. Now, take out where you start talking about induction and deduction, and let's have a little journey here. Remember, induction means you are using specific things, specific examples to prove a point. Riley McGurran is a good guy. There's my point. Specific examples. Saved a cat, beat up a bear, and knocked out a giraffe that was about to stampede Benzlin. Great. So those are specific examples that prove my point of Riley being a good guy. Look at paragraph number 11. And I'm going to read it out loud. Answer the question, is this paragraph demonstrating induction, using specific examples to prove a point, or deduction? Talking about a variety of ideas before arriving to a point. So there we go, paragraph 11. One can see why this memoir might appeal to the lazy or uninspired teacher who can conduct the class as if the students were a studio for Angelou's guest appearance on Oprah. The author's frequently vented distrust of white society might rouse even the most sluggish or understandably disaffected ninth grader to join in a discussion of racism. Her victory over poverty and abuse can be used to address what one fan in a customer book review on Amazon.com celebrated as transcending that pain, drawing from it deeper levels of meaning about being truly human and truly alive. We can stop right there. You should be able to figure it out. Is it induction, using a specific example to prove a point, or deduction, bringing up a bunch of different ideas before arriving at a thought? Somebody whispered it. Say it louder. Induction. What is the point that's being proved in this paragraph? She's using an example to illustrate what?
How it might appeal to a lazy or uninspired
Yeah. So the main idea is that Angelou's book appeals to lazy English teachers, and the example she brings up is how the students would be treated as a guest on Angelou's appearance on Oprah. Does that make sense? That is induction. Look at the next paragraph. We have the same thing taking place. This is another specific example in paragraph 12 that proves what point about why the caged bird sings. Don't overthink it. What does she think about this book?
It's being used as a model for poetic prose style.
But poetic is in...
Like, it's not good.
Monty, what does that mean when we put poetic in quotes? What kind of tone or voice are we using there? Sarcasm. Does she think the language use in the book is good? Does she admire it? No, she spends the whole rest of the paragraph digging it. So she's making what point about this book? It sucks, right? Okay, so she's, and the specific example that proves that this book sucks in this paragraph is the language use. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is induction. She's using specific examples to prove a point. The point being proved in paragraphs 10, 11, and 12 is that I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is not a book that's worthy to be treated as the be-all, end-all of books in class. Does that make sense, class? As far as induction. So we have examples of induction. So paragraphs 10, 11, 12, that would be a unit. that would be induction, and all those paragraphs are proving the point. Angelou's book isn't a good book. Now you contrast that with paragraph 7, 8, 9 that you read when you're trying to figure out the main idea. If you look at paragraph 7, 8, 9, paragraph 7 talks about what?
Reading list.
Yeah, it's how she went about finding reading lists. I tried to find reading lists, and hey, it was tough. At paragraph 2 is what? Or sorry, paragraph 8. What was on the reading list? And if she found out that it was all the same, right? And then paragraph 9, which is actually a sentence. Look at the end of paragraph 9. It says, are among the titles that appear most often, a grisly fact that in itself should inspire us to examine the works that dominate our children's literature. Let me say that again. A grisly fact that in itself should inspire us to examine the works that dominate our children's literature. What does the very next 3 paragraphs do?
Talks about examining.
It examines the literature. What literature does it examine? I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, right? We just talked about that. It gives us specific examples that examine the literature. So paragraphs 7, 8, 9. Okay, are those paragraphs that are using specific examples to prove a point? No. Paragraph 7 starts off with, hey, I wanted to find out what kids are reading. Paragraph 8, I figured out that it's all the same. And paragraph 9, so because it's all the same, we should examine it. That would be deductive. We talk about different ideas and then we arrive at something. Does that make sense? Kind of. It doesn't need to make lockdown sense now, but we want to be able to try to differentiate between inductive, using specific examples to prove a point, and deductive, more exploring something and then arriving to a conclusion. Got it? Okay. How many of you struggle bust with what I asked you to do today? Group pair. Did anyone group 7, 8, 9 together? Did anyone group 10, 11, 12? Good job, Butling. Okay. For tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the paragraph groupings. And I want you to tell me, is this grouping more of an inductive thing or more of a deductive thing? If you're going to say that it's inductive, you need to come to class tomorrow and say, yep, Mr. Lindenberg, 10, 11, 12 is inductive. That she's giving specific examples that prove this point. Or you're going to say, yep, Mr. Lindenberg, paragraph 7, 8, 9, that is deductive. All of that stuff talks about whatever that builds up to this point. So here we go. Listen up. So we did 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's a paragraph group. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's another one. 24, 25, 26, 27. And then 28 and 29. I'll read those one more time. I'll write them up here. That'll be easy. So we got 7 through 9, we did that, 10 through 12, and then we got 13 all the way through 17, and then we have 18 to 23, and then we have 24 to 27, and 28 and 29. So those are your paragraph groupings, inductive or deductive. Come back to class tomorrow ready to talk about what they are and why. Any questions? Hey, look at that, right on time. I have resource right now in my classroom. If you ever want to stick around on Thursdays and get some extra help, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.